Fan of TV crime shows and movies, you have an idea what happens with arrests.
But is that fact or fiction? We asked, what's the law?
In What's the Law today, we're focusing on crimes committed every day. We see them in real life, in movies, and on TV. And Coralie Chun Matayoshi has been doing podcasts talking about everything from the arrest, the charge, the trial, the sentencing, and even the notorious Kealoha case. So nice to talk with you. A very interesting subject this week, Coralie.
It is.
So walk us through some of these phases. Everything from, let's start at the arrest. I guess that makes sense.
So in order to make an arrest, a police officer needs probable cause, which is a reasonable belief that a crime has or is being committed, which means the police officer could personally see a purse snatching, or they might stop you for DUI because you're driving erratically or you have alcohol on your breath. And you can also get a search warrant from the court in order to make an arrest.
I know always in TV, you have the right to remain silent, the famous Miranda rights, but can you go over that, when that has to be read and the part that custody plays in that case?
Right. So the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution protects you against the right of self-incrimination, but only if you're in custody and about to be questioned. So if a police officer knocks on your door and you let them in and they start asking you questions, they don't need to give you your Miranda rights because you're not in custody at that time.
Let's talk about the search warrant. If someone comes to your place, what can you tell us about the search warrant and what's the law with that?
So a search warrant is a court order that authorizes a police officer to conduct a search of the person, location, or vehicle for evidence of a crime and to confiscate any evidence that they find. There are some exceptions to that: consent, or if there's an emergency, like an armed suspect is in the neighborhood putting others at risk, or searches incident to arrest, like after a police officer makes an arrest and they can search you for weapons in case it's dangerous for officers or others around you. And there's also a thing called plain view. So you get stopped for a traffic violation, and then they see marijuana in your car in plain view. That's okay. They don't need a search warrant.
Let's talk about something we hear about, but it can play an important part in cases: circumstantial evidence.
Right. So circumstantial evidence a lot of times gets a bad rap. People say, oh, they only have circumstantial evidence against me. But in most crimes, they're not done in the open. So there's no direct evidence, like a witness that is willing to testify that they saw a murder. And sometimes they can't find the body. So fingerprints at the crime scene, or a weapon found in your possession afterwards, or your erratic behavior could all be circumstantial evidence that you could have committed that crime.
When we're talking about a felony, a serious crime, and you need a grand jury and indictment, can you go over to our viewers what exactly that means?
So a grand jury is a group of citizens that investigates potential crimes, criminal conduct, to determine whether there's enough evidence or probable cause to bring charges. It's really one-sided. You're only hearing the prosecutor's case, but at that point, you're not determining guilt or innocent. You're just determining whether there's enough to move forward with the charges.
I understand in Hawaii, 90% of crimes are property crimes. Is that right?
Right. So some examples are burglary, robbery, shoplifting, carjacking, trespassing, forgery, credit card fraud, property damage like vandalism, and arson. It seems like every day it happens. So a lot of people don't know the difference between burglary and robbery. Burglary is when someone enters someone else's property with an intent to commit a crime inside. Robbery is more scary because it involves a threatened or use of force against another while committing the theft.
How about using force to protect your property? What is the law regarding that?
So you can use some force that you believe is immediately necessary to prevent a burglary or unlawful entry or criminal trespass or theft, but you must first request that they stop unless it is dangerous to do so. The use of deadly force is more restricted. You can only use it against someone who is attempting to burglarize or rob or destroy your property, and they threaten to use deadly force or cause substantial danger of serious bodily harm. There is a bill in the legislature being considered right now to allow deadly force to be used in situations way beyond this. So in the podcast that I posted today, I talked to prosecuting attorney Steve Alm about sentencing and alternatives to incarceration, and also tune into some of my upcoming podcasts about all of these areas of property crimes like burglary and robbery and vandalism and arson, and even crimes of deception like credit card fraud and identity theft.
We thank you. It's always great to talk story with you, and we should let people know that they can find backlogs of the What's the Law podcast on our website, kh12.com. Corley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tanya.
A little different than you might see. No shock on the TV shows. It's not exactly the best way to learn about the real deal with crime.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is a good way, and we just gave it to you. Coralie is awesome, and again, kh12.com is home to a ton of different topics that she covers.
Exactly. So we have more there in the future. Okay, the Blue Note Hawaii.